Okay, good morning. Today is the 21st day of Shvat, February 19th, and it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. We're on page 117 of Chayenu. We're continuing chapter 26. In today's lesson, the key to accept even suffering of worldly matters in a joyful way is to bear in mind that this is ultimately for a higher good. We don't see it, we don't recognize it, but we have to take Hashem's word for it. That's what it is. At this point, it's not yet revealed why it's good, and that's why we experience the pain and suffering. So advice has been offered by our sages on cleansing one's heart of all sadness and any trace of worry about mundane matters, even sadness or worry caused by the lack of such essentials as nebuch, not having children, or problems with the children, health, or livelihood. The vice it contains is the well-known saying of our sages, just as one blesses for good, and the pasuk continues and says, blessed are you, Hashem, who is good and does good. He must also recite the blessing for the opposite, the misfortunes. Gemara explains that this does not mean that he must recite the same blessing for the case of misfortune. In the case of misfortune, God forbid, a person says, Baruch Daino Emes, God is the true judge. Rather, the implication is that one should accept the misfortune with joy, just like the joy in a visible and obvious good. So why is it good if it seems so bad? We don't recognize the good, it's hidden, just like Hashem is hidden everywhere. Ki gamzu LiTova. You ever heard that expression? You ever heard that expression? Gamzu LiTova. This too is for the good, except that it's not apparent to us. Nigles she'enoi nigles v'nides le'enei basar ki hi ba'olma diskasya shalamayla ba'olma diskalya. In this world, this goodness is hidden, for it stems from the hidden spiritual worlds, which is higher than the revealed spiritual worlds, which comes from, and there is everything is apparently good. Shehu vav mishem havaya baruch hu. The latter comes from the letter vav and hey. I'm sorry, vav and hey, from the forename of Hashem, the four letter of the name coming from the letters of Yud, K, Vav, K, Yud, Yud and Hey, Vav and Hey. The Alma Diskasya Hu, Yud and Hey. While the former derives from the letters Yud and Hey. This also is the meaning of the pasuk. Happy is the man whom Hashem spelled Yud and Hey chastened. Since the pasuk speaks of man suffering, only the letters Yud and Hey are mentioned. So why do we see the suffering and why do we see the misfortunes and we don't see the good? Because Hashem is hidden in this world, and really everything Hashem does is for the good. That's what we say, Gam Zu LiTova. I'm jumping to the end here, guys, because I'm just struggling a little bit. To return to our original point, when one considers that whatever appears as suffering is actually a higher form of good, technically, if he really internalizes it well, and is able to get to that point, he'll no longer be saddened or worried by it. Okay, this business deal fell through. Okay, the household, the children, this, health, it's going to be good in the end. It's a famous saying. In the end, it's all good. If it's not good yet, or you don't recognize that it's good yet, it means what? You didn't get to the end yet, right? We have to just push forward, and we have to realize and recognize that everything Hashem does is for our good. And oftentimes, very oftentimes, almost always, we don't recognize it, we don't see it. And the good that we sense in this world is temporary and fleeting. Ice cream, is good? You eat it 1 minute, 5 minutes later, you're on to the next thing. So whatever experience in this world is actually fake good. And the challenges and difficulties and pain that we experience is actually, again, it's easy for me to say, but not easy for me to feel, as most of us feel that way, that the challenges are real. But Dr. is explaining to us that that's because the goodness is hidden, just like Hashem is hidden in this world. So the takeaway for today, Chavra, is that the toolbox for success in divine service, and this comes from on the heels of yesterday's learning, which said that Ivdas Hashem b'simcha is the most important thing. We have to serve Hashem with joy, and not always is it easy to get out of bed. Not always is it easy to go through an illness or a suffering, or a child, especially. It's one thing if you're suffering, but when your child's suffering, so much harder. And we see what tomorrow they're going to return bodies from Hamas. Like it's unimaginable. Are personal material challenges dragging you down? Yeah. If yes, place your burden in the hands of Hashem. Think about the following to alleviate anxiety when you're nervous about something that's coming up. I have a limited scope of vision of what's truly good, but have faith in Hashem that He will do what's best for me. Even if it doesn't seem good in this world, it's ultimately is gamzu LiTova. This too is for the best. My cousin was on a flight, or was getting on a flight yesterday, not this flight in Toronto, but he was in Montreal. It was 2 days ago. His plane was in an accident on the runway. His pictures of it, and he posted pictures on the group, and he said we were supposed to be on that plane. Now, whatever, Baruch Hashem, nothing happened. This, that, we even see the other plane. We don't know why we missed a plane. We don't know why there had to be a snowstorm, that we had to come late. We don't know why your car had to break down. You don't know why this had to happen. Your son broke his arm. Why did that have to happen? Why did this have to happen? There's things that we, by the way, for us, and this is an important message for us, we can give the excuse, or we could say, I believe in Hashem, but when someone else is suffering, can't accept that. We have to daven for them. And we'll get to that. But that's what Moshe Rabbeinu did. That's what Avraham Avinu did. So we have to daven for your son's arm. But he has to say, Hashem, whatever you did for me, comes to LiTova. All right, guys. Have a good day. And if anyone found my voice, I lost it, so I need it for tonight.